All right, everybody, our lesson today, we are going to be estimating decimals, and we are going to be estimating the answers to all four different types of problems. So we're going to be looking at estimating decimal sums, so looking at addition, estimating decimal differences, which would be subtraction, products, multiplication, and quotients would be our division. Okay, so we're going to start by looking at how to estimate sums by rounding to the nearest whole number. And when we're working with decimals, the directions will really always specify how you are going to round your decimal. Sometimes you'll round it to the nearest whole number. Sometimes you might be asked to round it to the nearest tenth. You really just always have to pay attention to the directions and make sure you are going off of those directions for your work. So for this problem here, I'm asked to round to the nearest whole number. So what that means is I'm going to look at my ones place, and my tenths place is going to help me do that rounding. We remember our digits, so 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 would make us round down. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 would make us round up. So that 7 is going to make my 6 jump up to a 7. So $6.75 is going to round to $7. Now I'm going to take a look at my $15.45. So again, I'm going to look at my ones place. My tenths place is going to help me round. And that 4 is going to make the 5 round down, so it would stay the same. Changing this to $15. Now, because it's asking me to estimate the sum, I'm not done yet. I need to start by rounding like I just did, but I can't forget it's asking me to find out the sum, which is the answer to the addition problem. So I'm going to go ahead and add 7 plus 15, and I would get $22 for my final answer. All right, so now we're going to do the exact same thing, but now I'm going to be looking at estimating the difference. So I'm going to be estimating the subtraction problem. So if I have 7 and 13 hundredths minus 5 and 7 tenths, I'm asked to round to the nearest whole number. So I'm going to do exactly what I did in the last problem. I'm looking at my ones place. My tenths place is going to help me do that rounding. That 1 is going to make the 7 round down, so it would stay the same and just stay right at 7. Next, I'm going to look at my 5, and my 7 in the tenths place is going to help me. That 7 is going to make that 5 jump up to a 6. So now all I have left is 7 minus 6, and I would get 1. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking a look at how to estimate the product of a decimal and a whole number by just rounding the decimal. So you'll see that I have my decimal number right here, 11 and 97 hundredths times 2. I'm only going to focus on rounding my decimal for this problem. The 2 is going to stay the same because I can mentally do 2 times another number. I don't have to worry about changing that 2. Okay, so I'm going to round 11 and 97 hundredths to the nearest whole number. So I'm going to underline my ones place digit. My tenths place digit is going to help me. That 1 is going to jump up to a 2. So now I have 12 times 2. And again, the purpose is I want to be able to do this mentally, which I can. That 2 is perfectly fine to multiply, so I'm able to do in my head 12 times 2, and I get 24. All right, so now we're going to look at division. So I'm going to estimate the quotient which is the answer to a division problem of a decimal and a whole number. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but have you seen this estimate is spelled wrong in the book? Esrtimate, and it was on one of the slides earlier. I'm curious if it's in your textbook also. Okay, anyways, so we're going to look at how to estimate the quotient of a decimal and a whole number. Now remember, when we're estimating with division, it's slightly different because you want to make sure you have compatible numbers. So I want to make sure that what I am changing 23 and 64 hundredths to is compatible with my divisor of 3. So what that means is I want them to be able to work together, and I want them to end up giving us a nice, clean, even number for our quotient that doesn't have a remainder or anything sloppy, because I want to be able to do it in my head mentally. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to focus on my divisor of 3, and I'm going to list out my multiples of 3. So I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. I'll do one more, 27. And my goal is I want to choose a multiple that is closest to my whole number. Okay, so I want to find a multiple of 3 that's closest to that 23. So I'm going to look, and I see 21's close, but 24 is definitely our closest. That's only one place away. So I'm going to take that 24 and I'm going to replace this number, 23 and 64 hundredths, with 24. So now I have 24 divided by 3, which I can do mentally in my head, is going to be 8. Okay, so again, I looked for a compatible number that was compatible with 3. So I would be able to mentally do that division and not have any remainders or anything sloppy in the end. I want a nice, clean answer. Okay, so this is another division example. We are asked to divide 40 and 4/10 by 5 and then estimate to make sure that our answer is reasonable. So I have the actual division right here. So I did 40 and 4/10 divided by 5, and I got an answer of 8 and 8 hundredths. Now, to do the estimation, I'm going to rewrite my problem. So I have 40 and 4/10 divided by 5. So again, I'm going to focus on my divisor. I'm going to list out the multiples of that divisor so I can see which one is closest to my dividend. And for this one, you might have already been able to do this one mentally. Sometimes you don't have to list out the multiples, that's great. But sometimes you might want to. Okay, so I'm seeing that I have a multiple 40 that is really close to my dividend. It's actually only 4/10 away. So I'm going to take my 40 and replace 40 and 4/10 with 40. Now I can do that mentally. 40 divided by 5, I get an answer of 8. And you'll notice 8, so this is our estimated answer of 8, is pretty close to our actual answer of 8 and 8 hundredths. All right, the last type of problem we're going to take a look at is estimating sums by rounding to the nearest tenth. So again, I mentioned earlier in our video that you're always looking at your directions to see how you are going to round. And in this type of problem, we're specifically asked to round to the nearest tenth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each number, 2 and 49 hundredths, plus 6 and 54 hundredths, and I'm going to focus on rounding each one to the nearest tenth. So in this number here, I'm going to underline my tenths digit, circle my hundredths digit. That 9 is going to make that 4 jump up to a 5. So 2 and 49/100ths would change to 2 and 5/10. Now look at this number over here. I'm going to underline my 10th digit, circle my 100th digit. That 4 is going to make the 5 round down and stay the same, changing our number to 6 and 5/10. Okay, so now that I have them both rounded, I'm going to actually write them vertically so I can do this addition. You might be able to do it mentally, but I just like to make sure I'm doing it correctly and showing it all the way out. So notice I lined up all of my ones, my decimal points, and my tenths place. I'm going to start with my tenths place. 5 plus 5, I get 10. And I carry that 1 on over into our ones place. 6 plus 2, I get 8 plus 1 is 9. So our final estimated answer, I get 9.